Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of our game as the Timurids / tutorial for Europa Universalis 4. This is a kiss for luck.
Hey.
And check down below for a link to her channel. So we, in the first part, or the 0th part perhaps, we talked about setup and background, but now we're ready to get going. We've got sort of a mission, well, not sort of, a literal mission to go and take out Delhi. Before we do, we may want to talk a little bit about diplomacy, which is less of a thing with the Hordes because they actually have a hard time keeping friends for some reason. But it's very important if you're playing in Europe. In fact, for many countries, one of their first missions will be to do something like get a royal marriage or an alliance with someone.
Oh, nice.
Which is a very good idea. For example, if you're playing as Portugal, not pictured here, one of the first things you usually do is set up an alliance with Castile. They're big, they're right next to you, you want to keep them on their good side, and they're going to be your defender throughout the game while you colonize the Americas. So we might want to consider getting an alliance here. Maybe with the Uzbeks, they're quite big, quite powerful. I mean, the problem is, they actually feel threatened next to us. Which
By
is,
us?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we have a lot of troops. One of the things you can do is you can check this ledger. Ooh, that's the history. Ledger over here. The history is quite cool too. But you can get stats on a bunch of different nations, including, say, the military. So if we go into the army size here and we find... We play Timurids. Like, what's our name again?
Who are we?
Timurids. Our total number of men we have active right now is 48,000. And we have 41,000 manpower in reserve. We're going to talk about manpower in a sec. The Uzbeks only have 17,000 people and 12,000 in reserve. That's why they're afraid of us.
Look at the force limits, how high we are compared to everybody else.
Yeah, we are very powerful compared to most of our neighbors. Yeah. Still, it wouldn't hurt to have an ally somewhere, so we might look at them. Or maybe they're going to be our next target. Still, I think we're mostly thinking of going east.
Yeah, we were going after Tibetan Spaniels or something.
Yes, that's
yeah.
right. All right, so let's see. The Uzbeks feel threatened by us. So let's see if we can't get a little bit of diplomacy going on. So these are different groups of actions that you can open and take a look at. So dynastic actions, you can offer royal marriages, for example. Improves relations, and maybe sometimes lets you literally just take an entire country by claiming the throne in a very interesting manner.
That's not terrible.
So we can do a royal marriage. We can also get the alliance. So, and this shows you all the factors that are involved in the decision. And I like this sort of transparency a lot. If someone says no, you'll know why they say no, and maybe what you could do. Now, over on the right-hand side, you see we have 2 diplomats available right now.
Okay.
And by the way, if you guys are playing, you don't have this on your screen. This is a little button to show and hide the outliner. You can also add a few more things on the outliner by clicking this little plus, but the defaults are pretty good. You can also see how many diplomats you have available right here. We have 2 of 2 currently free to get something done.
Cool.
So by doing the alliance offer, and we're going to do it just to show. We're going to hit send. Sure. It's going to deploy one of our diplomats. It's going to take him 21 days for him to do the round trip. We'll actually get the alliance will come back yay or nay before then, but he'll be occupied for that much amount of time. The other thing you can do is do the improve relations, which is down in relations actions, improve relations, and then you just stick your diplomat there and he just stays there until he's done everything he can. It'll go up by, +1 per month or something like that, or whatever amount. So he'll improve relationships over time.
So you're just sending an ambassador to
hang out there. And you can recall him anytime you need another diplomat again. So we'll have that one tied up there. The second diplomat will perhaps tie him up with declaring war. Oh, wait, we probably want to move our troops to the front first. And because we're under our force limit, we could also build a few more troops. And this will give us a chance to talk about manpower, like I was saying. So, if there are a couple of different ways to build troops. We can click on a province, and there's a button here. No one does that. That's the sucker way to do it.
Okay, then we don't do that.
There's a button over here, production interface, and the shortcut key is V for units and B for buildings. Very handy. But you click this. It shows you the stuff you can build. So these are the land units you can build. These are the naval units you can build, and these are mercenaries you can hire. So you can say, all right, let's get in. Well, we're really good at cavalry.
Yes.
It's our thing. Let's build some cavalry. So we click on that. It shows us everywhere where we can currently build a cavalry.
Sweet.
What the cost is and what the creation time will be. So, for example, here it'd be 87 days. Over here, we'd actually get an 84-day production. Either way, anywhere right now, it's going to be 25 gold pieces to produce 1 regiment of 1,000 men on cavalry.
Nice.
And there are buildings and different things later on that can discount these prices.
Okay.
So now that we're in this mode, we can just kind of click somewhere. So we've got one queued up there. We could click again or click on the plus either way to queue up a second one here. Or we could just go here and here and here. So we just spent 100 gold.
We did.
Now the other thing, and let me go I'll toggle this. I'll go to minus. You see the manpower modifier here? Yeah, manpower, it says 38,000 right now, and then we're going to hit the plus again. It's going to go down to 37,000. So this is how many people that we can, I don't know, conscript into our army right now. I guess men between, I don't know what ages, 15 and 35, who are eligible to be kind of brought into the military at this point, that are available right now. Now, our nation's maximum at this time is 66,000. It takes 10 years. If we got down to 0 manpower left, it would take 10 years at a base value to go from 0 back up to 66,000.
Wow. Okay.
Now, so you use them whenever you create a new unit, right? It's 1,000 people in a regiment, so it takes 1,000 manpower out. But any losses you suffer in battle, like we have 16 regiments here.
Yes.
If we lose a battle, or even win a battle, whatever, you know, you take some losses, you don't lose any of the regiments. They can even go all the way down to 0, and you still haven't lost them, as long as you haven't lost the entire army. But what will happen over time, they will be reinforced from your manpower pool.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So let's unpause. Right now the speed is at the slowest pace. You can pause and unpause by clicking here, but usually you just hit the space bar. The Uzbeks have accepted to enter into military alliance with us.
Nice.
We're currently going on the slowest speed. I'm going to bump it up to at least 2 over here. Slow is really quite slow. I generally play it even higher speeds and then pause frequently. And if there's no wars or anything, I'll go all the way up to a 5. We also got, look at this, we got an alliance offer from the Mamluks.
Ooh.
So the Mamluks are right here.
Right here.
And they're actually pretty big. If you can't tell, because you know there's a lot of gray space here, but this is the river delta that like Egypt, right? Cairo and so on, right there, the bay. Yeah. So the Mamluks are on both sides of this, and they're pretty good. So they want an alliance, and alliances are good, but also dangerous, because if they get in a war, they're going to call us to participate, and if we turn them down, it's going to be we're going to lose a lot of prestige. And obviously our relationship is going to suffer.
Now, before we accept your decline, is there a way we can actually find out something about this country?
Of course. Right, I mean, we can click them here, but there's a shortcut here as well.
Lovely.
Currently, they have alliances with the Golden Horde and Akkoyunlu.
Right there?
Yeah. So these guys and the Golden Horde. And that's an example of what may be a cascade, right?
Yeah.
If the Golden Horde declares on Muscovy, then the Mamluks may also join in and ask us to join in. That being said, we're far away. Frankly, we could just say yes, and who cares? It's not going to affect us in any way whatsoever. It's like, oh yeah, we'll totally help. There are certain penalties. There are certain things you can't do while you're at war, and there's a certain amount of war awareness that can build in your populace as well, and it won't decrease if you're at war, but generally speaking, it's not bad. There is, if we go over to our government screen and we mouse over our diplomacy, near the bottom you can see it says 1 of 4 diplomatic relations. That's the limit of diplomatic relations that we can maintain before we start actually losing diplomatic power points every month.
Okay.
So that seems like, you know what, it's fine. What the hell? We can take it. So now we'll see it'll go up to 2 of 4.
Right, okay.
The Gakhars have crossed our border from Delhi and entered Ghazni. Oh, there's some rebels here. Yeah, they were right over here.
Yeah.
So they are freedom fighters of some kind and have crossed in. Oh, see this guy's got a little skull? That is attrition, and that it's not a big deal in Crusader Kings 2 usually. Huge deal in EU4. There's a certain limit. I mean, this is a time when armies mostly fed themselves off the land. Let's split these guys up so they're not going in the same place the whole time. Mostly fed themselves off the land, so the land has a limit to the amount of people it could feed in an army at any given time. So if you go over that limit, you start to get attrition, which means you lose men. You'll get reinforced from your manpower pool, but you can very quickly find yourself having depleted all of it and not having reinforcements available. So ideally, you try to minimize that. Okay. Some provinces can support more than others. In the northern provinces, in the winter, it's quite cold. Actually, we're in January right now, which might be part of the problem. Sometimes it gives you modifiers, but I think it's not the weather here.
So we're actually losing men because we're traveling through areas that just don't have the food to feed them.
Food or disease. I mean, things happen, right?
Yeah.
There's always attrition.
It's cold.
Yeah.
So, what's this?
Multan, which is not particularly important, wants military access into our territory. They are... I don't know why they really particularly care. Frankly, I'm going to decline. Simply on the basis that if we ever went to war with Multan, which will probably happen at some point, we'd have to remember to cancel this before going to war, otherwise people get all cranky at us. We could probably accept, but whatever. So let's bump up the speed, just a scooch here. So what's interesting is our military here is made up of both infantry and cavalry. As a horde, we can actually have armies made up 100% out of cavalry. This is very unusual because normally, military access. I mean, you know what? Actually, as an experiment, I want to say yes here because I want to see if that impacts our maximum number of relationships. And I don't think, it doesn't. The Mamluks want a royal marriage. It's probably fine. It does increase our chance of getting more heirs and increases our legitimacy over time.
Okay. Does that make it easier to take them over later?
It does, actually.
There you go.
Well, if they for some reason, let's say they have a king that dies with no heir, or someone with poor legitimacy, then there's ways to claim thrones and do all kinds of magic-y stuff like that. But I mean, we're not politicians. There we go. Now we're about to cross into a territory that's got an enemy over here, so we're about to do war for the first time. Before I go in there, I'll notice that this army has no leader. This is generally a very bad thing.
Yeah, I noticed.
In fact, we've got a message here that says we can hire a free military leader. Just like the diplomatic relations, there's a certain limit to how many leaders we can have, either generals for armies or admirals for our ships, before we start paying extra maintenance. So we don't have any at all right now, and we should definitely get one. It gives us considerably more power. So we do that. We can click on the no leader here. We have no leaders in the pool, but we can spend power,
of course.
50 military power, to recruit a general.
Holy cow.
They make a huge difference. They're very, very powerful.
Well, an army without a leader sounds
pretty bad, yeah.
Like a horde.
Almost.
God.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of military tradition right now, which means our leader is crap. He's got 1 point in fire and 1 point in maneuver, nothing in shock or siege. You don't need to know what these mean, other than that is not very much. Okay. Later on, you'll see guys that'll have like 5 dots here and 3 there and this and that. And that comes from your military tradition, which is over here. And as you actually do battle and do wars, you will build up more military tradition, which influences your military in all kinds of different ways. So we're going to go and smack into these rebels, and we should be able to just slaughter them wholesale. They're not generally very organized, although we do have a couple of penalties going on here. First of all, we crossed a river. We were here.
Yeah.
We crossed this river to attack Ghazni. Of course, there was no way for us to attack this province without crossing a river unless we could go down into here. So that right away is giving us a penalty. How the combat system how it works is not critical at this point, other than minuses are bad.
Duh. Yeah. Okay.
And finally, the terrain, we're also getting a -3. The reason is this place is incredibly hilly. If we go show province over here. Actually, I guess terrain view is the way to do it. So I go to terrain
it's
view.
right in the middle of the mountains.
It's mountain in mild winter. It's horrible. So it's really bad for us. Luckily, we outnumber them dramatically, and so we were able to win. Now, what's interesting is we won. Obviously, they're still alive. If we were able to click on them, and we can't. Actually, we can click on ourselves. You can see that our regiments have lost some men. Right? Some are fine. Some are really down. So they have lost some men, but also their morale is broken. This little bar next to their thing, that's their current morale. You'll see ours is completely green, or virtually completely green.
Okay.
And theirs is almost not green at all. So their morale is quite low. They're going to fight very badly. Okay. So if we chase them down, we'll be in good shape to actually kill them. Also, the white flag specifically says that they are shattered completely. While that's going on, they actually won't even be able to move. So if we catch them again, they won't be able to escape, and we'll just eliminate the army completely. These are like damn dirty rebels. Obviously, we want to clean them up.
Damn dirty rebels, yes.
That's right. So let's go and keep moving you guys there, and you guys we will group up and move there. I wasn't explaining the commands, but like here. So there's actually 2 armies here. There's the army that we were moving before, and then the 1U cavalry regiment. Okay. I can merge them into one army.
All right, nice.
Which is generally better.
Easier.
And we've got a royal marriage offer from someplace. I think I'm going to decline. We've got a lot of relationships going on right now.
Yeah.
And we've got very high legitimacy as is. I'm not too worried about the marriages. So yeah, we'll hunt them down. Again, we got a river crossing penalty here, but at least it's on flat ground, which thank God. And they were completely shattered, so they weren't able to escape, so we eliminated them completely. So if that happened to us, we would have to rebuild our regiments from scratch, paying all the money for it, in addition to the manpower requirements. Now, with that in mind, I guess we only have one province we can cross into. into Kashmir. And it's like hilly, like monstrous terrain.
Rivers and mountains, oh my.
Now, oh wait, sorry. It's actually into here. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong place. We're not going into Kashmir. We're going to here.
Good job.
So this is slightly less bad. It's still a little bit narrow. I'm wondering if we might want... Well, there's no one unit, one nation that we can get military access from that would help. But like these guys, we could probably ask them for military access. Then we'd be able to walk through their territory.
Oh, okay.
But I think we're going to be okay without it. But again, we're getting some attrition here. These big stacks, that tends to be a big, big problem. Now what you can do is you can split them, create a new unit. And so I can move people over into a new army. So I'm creating a second army over here, for example. That's one way of doing it.
Okay.
I can also, let me merge these back together. There's a quick button to split them in half as well.
Oh, okay.
Which I find quite handy. Now, as is, they're still in the same province, so they're getting attrition. But we could, move them apart afterwards.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot.
Let's declare war.
Yeah.
So, we've got a lot of different CBs that are available. Now, generally speaking, war is war is war. It's a little bit less, like in Crusader Kings, if you declare war for a specific title, if you win the war, you get that title, period.
Right, okay.
That's not the case here. This is your excuse, and what you pick here does kind of factor into what you can negotiate for peace, but it's not critical one way or another. So, well, see, it'll make more sense once we, beat these guys and actually take the peace deal. So we're going to go ahead and let's say we claim Punjab here, right? It's slightly deeper in. This is the specific thing we're going to claim. Well, no, I guess we'll take Row because it's next door. It makes more sense.
Okay.
We can see if we can call in any allies. No one's interested in actually joining us. Like, we can click this, but no one would actually join.
Okay.
Now, okay, so declaring war on a fellow Sunni is a crime against Allah. Will decrease our piety by 16. They're also allied with Shankante and Bengal, and they rule over Bangladesh. So if we look at some more of these...
That's down here. Where's that?
Well, there's Bengal, which is relatively far away. Who are they allied with further? Bamanis, which is here.
Okay.
And they're allied with also Malwa, which is here. Okay, that's the end of that particular connection.
Oh my goodness.
But see, it could really cascade, right? We have to keep that in mind. Still, let's not let that stop us. So we're going to take Row, which is right next door. Declare war. Bangladesh, they had to also join the war because they're a vassal. They have no choice.
Okay.
So, all right. So right now, it's a war. You can see there's a little war icon down here.
Yeah.
So it's a war between us, Delhi, and Bangladesh. So let's move in. So this is an army of Delhi that is currently trying to siege the province of Row and take it back from those rebels that they had problems with before. So we'll move in there, and then actually I'll remerge them, and we're gonna take these guys and go straight through to Punjab. And actually we have a leader here, but these guys aren't gonna join the battle quite yet. So I'm gonna take this leader away and just redeploy him over here because this guy's gonna jump in the battle first, probably the 13th of June, the 5th of June. There we go. Now, we will get a river crossing penalty. We'll be fighting on crap terrain, but we will outnumber them. It's going to hurt our manpower, which is continuous. It continues to decrease.
Like
yeah.
Crazy.
Shanghai has joined. Bengal has joined.
What?
Are we still feeling mighty? These tiny little nations individually can't do anything, but they're working the diplomacy system.
My goodness.
And therefore, they're doing...
So... we just have to hope they're far enough away that
Yeah.
they'll never show up anyway.
Or weak enough that it doesn't become a thing. So we should be able to easily win this battle, and we do. Now, we've got one group of units that's staying behind in Row, and the rest are going to move forward to Punjab. So these guys will siege. And we're going to talk about that. We're still having lots of problems with attrition. Numbers are going down. We're going to win these battles unless we run out of men.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness.
All right, so no more attrition here, which is good. Here, there's still technically too much, and we would like to be able to siege here. So there's a few things we need to do. How many men do you need to siege? In Crusader Kings, it varies. Here, generally speaking, it's ballpark like 2,000 people is sufficient to siege. Or actually 2 regiments. The easiest way to make it work, there's a button here, which I love, will detach enough units to execute a siege properly.
Properly? Oh my god, I love this.
So I'll detach that. It'll
Thank
leave
you.
2,000 infantry behind. It leaves us with an army of 19,000 people total. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split this one in half further. So I've got 3 armies here. This little puny one, 2,000 people, which is sieging. I'm going to deselect them. The 2 bigger ones, one I'm going to have chase the broken army into Sirand.
Okay.
And then I'm going to select the other one. I'm just going to have him go into Kashmir. Oh, never mind, I can't, because Bangladesh has an army there, so I was going to go and attack. But apparently I can't do that. I suppose I could go into Bangladesh and siege there, just give them a hard time. And that would be fine. And then I do have one army that's been left behind here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach the siege from here and move the group forward. And then I'm going to move these guys into here. So I'm trying to move forward through a relatively narrow pass of provinces here, each one of which is attritioning the crap out of us.
Straight over the mountains.
Through the mountains, over rivers. Now these guys are broken, so they move really fast, but they can't fight. Call to arms. The Mamluks, see? Alliance. Want us to come to aid against Crimea. The defensive war. And Crimea is allied with the Ottomans, so potentially Crimea and the Ottomans might be going to war against the Mamluks. Mamluks want our help.
Oh my goodness
Now,
gracious.
if we decline, we lose 25 prestige. So what's prestige? We've mentioned it a few times at this point. In Crusader Kings 2, it's mostly there for, sort of scorekeeping. It does affect your relations with different people. If you have higher prestige, they like you. Here, prestige has massive effects.
Oh.
It affects your trade, your morale of your armies, mercenary costs, spies, defense, legitimacy, relationship over time.
This is bad.
It has a fair impact on different stuff. So losing, I don't like losing prestige.
No kidding.
On the other hand, we're in a big war.
Can we accept and not go?
We could. And most likely that's fine. I mean, you've got Crimea and the Ottomans over here. They're not, I mean, they don't even have naval access to us. I'm pretty sure we can accept and nothing bad will happen to us.
We'll find out.
What could possibly
go
wrong?
wrong?
Oh, and because of our superior strength and unmatched leadership, we've assumed leadership in the war against Crimea. We will handle all negotiations. So, if we take a look at the war, the Crimean reconquest of Borisglip,
Yeah,
someplace.
of Borsland.
Currently, on the other side is only Crimea. The Ottomans might join in, they might not, we'll see. And this side is everyone on this side, Timurids, Golden Hordes, Mamluks. We are the war leader, because we're just
good
boss.
Heavens.
So we get to negotiate for the entire alliance.
So that'll be a little harder to ignore now.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
So I can keep moving one of these armies forward. So I'm going to move it to there, and I'm going to move this one forward to there. We'll just keep chasing. This one can leave siege. We are losing some people there. And we can probably just keep moving down. The attrition certainly still hurts like hell. But we will easily win this war, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh.
Cora. Oh.
Over there? Ooh, right there between us.
Oh, that's bad. So these guys are going to be hitting us from behind. And this isn't our legitimate war. This is the one. See, but that's that relationship. It's that web of alliances that keeps triggering.
Oh my god.
Well, what we could do. Yeah, they won't join our call to arms because they're already in war. A war just started, and it's a distant war, so the Mamluks aren't quite as interested in joining us. But it's rough. That's really rough. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to merge these guys together. I'm going to leave one siege behind, and I'm going to move these 14 units over on the western side to fight.
Good heavens.
There's quite a few troops over there, although they're a little bit busy themselves. Actually, that's a pretty significant number. I'm going to detach the siege from here and move a few more troops over this way. Luckily now, the defensive edge, all the rivers, all the mountains is going to be in our favor. If they move on to us, they're going to have a really, really rough time. So we want another battle here. So every time you win a battle, you gain a little bit more war score. You gain a little bit of prestige, which is nice, and a little bit of army tradition.
Okay.
But we also gain some some war exhaustion.
Yeah.
So that was the battle here we just won. And so some of them are retreating over here. They're going to have a bad time. Anywhere they can retreat, there's going to be some of our people waiting. So we're going to be okay. So at this point, I think we can just keep sort of sitting around and waiting for things to happen. Over here, we keep an eye out for hostile sieges. Oh, so these people that retreated here retreated into some units and they all died. That's good for us. I'm going to move some troops here. Just in case these guys move in here, then we'll have enough units to move in and reinforce. Now we're just waiting for sieges. So every month, and I mean, obviously I'm going at a relatively fast pace here.
Yes.
You can pause whenever you want. Every so often, every month there's a tick that can improve your sieging. It starts at like -50. That's your chance of winning the siege that month.
Okay.
Starts at -50, but then it goes up and up
Right.
and up and up, and eventually goes positive, like here, 28% chance, and eventually it could even reach 100 theoretically. But usually by the time you'll see it hit around 50, and that's usually as high as it will go or need to go. We're actually getting like attrition in our own freaking homeland here with these guys. Now, with the army selected, I can mouse over different provinces and see what the supply limit is. So in this province here, Yaz, which is the place with the rebellion problems,
Right.
the supply limit is very low, 12.
And it's January again.
Yeah. But if I don't think the weather really matters
Doesn't
here. This is the
matter?
Middle East,
Okay.
it's hot.
Oh, that's true.
Right? It's
okay.
a big, I have that in my head because I've played a big
Up
game as
here in
Muscovy.
Muscovy.
Let me tell you, Russian winters. Oof. But if I mouse over here in Iraq, then the supply limit is much higher. It's 21, and the supply with my army is only 14. So if I move here, there won't be any attrition.
Wow. So move.
I will, and then I'm going to keep these guys around and hopefully defend. Although these guys are the ones who are at war with me, right? Yeah.
Somewhere in here.
But I don't see any troops.
Oh yeah, this guy right along here.
Frankly,
yeah.
I'm just going to go into... No.
Supply limit
What?
16, 20.
Why can't I enter... He's not in the war. Why did I get that message? Oh, he's in a different war. He honored an alliance with Shang whatever.
Okay.
Shanghai, I think, is in another war. I got confused about the messages.
Me too,
I'm sorry.
no kidding.
Yeah, they are in a whole other war, and that's where they jumped in. So they're not affected.
Okay. So
They're
we
not
don't-
affecting us at all.
We don't have to worry about that side at all.
No, I'll still
For
move them
now.
there to keep them around because they don't need to be on this front. We're doing just fine. So some of these icons, like at this point, the walls are breached. The defenders are starting to desert. Technically, we could rush these guys if we wanted to. There's a button to assault. Let's get that in a sec.
Sacking of Punjab.
There's a button to assault territory. Costs tiny bit of military power, but mostly, just like in Crusader Kings, it's quite costly in the manpower. You will lose a lot of people if you just assault
Yes.
as opposed to
Yeah.
siege. It is easier once the walls are breached, but frankly, I rarely do it because manpower is so hard to come by. So yes, we won the siege of Punjab. Over here, it's striped to indicate that we occupy it.
Awesome.
And then Punjab has fallen to our forces, and Khan Shah Rukh is allowing the troops to do as they like with the city. This is greatly increasing the popularity of him amongst the men. Is this me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will gain 1 legitimacy, 2 prestige, and we will burn off some war exhaustion. So in stability and expansion, you can see our war exhaustion here, and as that increases, you get more revolt risk, all
Right.
kinds of problems. So keeping that low is good. So loot and pillage.
We're so charming. Oh my goodness.
It's the way it goes, right? Yeesh. So we're going to keep sieging all this, and we're going to keep getting a war score increase with every siege. With the primary nation, with Delhi in this case, right, on the other side, if we siege all their province, we will have effectively a 100% war score for negotiating peace. So then they have no say in anything. So these guys have canceled the military access rights. Will happen from time to time. Sometimes it's a prelude to war.
Ooh.
Usually it's not.
Oh.
Just the AI being
Because that's
cranky.
what I thought. Like, oh my god, this can't be good.
We've mostly stabilized our loss. Oh, we've got a peace offer from Delhi. So, they're offering us 60 ducats, or ducats. So they're just going to give us money, and because we have the Conquest Casus Belli, we will also gain a tiny bit of prestige. We're going to decline this. We're going to decline this hard. We're not here for $60.
No.
We're here for the entire goddamn country. We may not be able to take the entire goddamn country in this one war, but we're going to take some of it anyway.
Oh.
Despite Shah Rukh's efforts to mediate between the different religious groups in our nations, conflicts have been erupting on a regular basis. The situation has worsened, and without drastic measures, we will soon be engulfed in a religious civil war. Oh, good. We're already in 2 wars. Why not add a civil war on top of it? So we have two choices. We can try to eradicate the heretics to bring peace. This would cause 9 religious regiments to rise up in actually where our army already is.
Oh, good.
And the whole nation would get religious intolerance for a year, which would improve the strength of our missionaries, decrease our tolerance of heretics and heathens, which would simply make the situation with the Shiites? Yeah, the Shiites would be even more prone to sort of rebelling and different things. We would gain 40 piety from choosing this. On the other hand, we could strive for a tolerant society, which would lower the stability cost modifier, which is good, because we would love to raise our stability.
Yeah.
It would decrease the tolerance of true faith. So the sort of protection from rebellion in places that have Sunni religion would decrease somewhat, although we'd still be fine.
Okay.
And it would increase the tolerance of heretics and heathens, again, for another year. We'd also lose 40 piety. Now, either way, the stuff that lasts for 1 year, I'm not, it's only a year. It's fine. The big thing is losing or gaining piety and also having to fight the religious regiments. Personally, I can't allow a heathen to live. I like piety, and we've got more than enough troops to take those guys out.
Well, there you go.
Although it will cost us a little more manpower, right? Because we're gonna have some injuries.
Oh well.
Eradicate
Off
the
with
heretics
their
to bring
heads.
peace. I should let you make more of the decisions, actually.
No, I don't know the game, but this is fun.
Either way,
This is good.
neither one of them is bad automatically. Mewat wants military access. You can also right-click on these to just dismiss them. Uzbeks want it. Yeah, sure, actually, Uzbeks were friends with them, right? I think.
Was it Uzbek?
Or the Golden Horde. I don't remember anymore.
Oh.
So we want to
One of the
battle over
north.
there.
I'd have to see it. I don't remember.
We want a siege.
We have one.
More stripey.
Good striping.
And rewards his followers. Look at that.
Look.
Wow.
The city's yours. One of I can't remember if it was Genghis or Kublai Khan. One of the big Khans actually outlawed sacking of cities unless he gave no rape, no pillage unless he gave specific permission to do that per city.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So these rebels, we won that war and then they ran, right? Which is going to happen. Now, instead of manually moving around to hunt them down, there's a button for autonomous rebel suppression, which I just turned on. So these guys will automatically go around hunting rebels.
Oh, okay.
They would do it a little bit better if they had a leader. I can't remember. Can we resign a leader from here? Oh, we can. We can't assign a leader when we're in unfriendly territory. Oh, although we've got this occupied, so it doesn't matter. But I want to resign the leader and move them over here. There we go. Just because this one's going to be involved in combat, so we'll lose less manpower. We're down below 20,000 now.
I noticed.
But we're almost done these sieges. And the other war does not bother us much. That's another war that we're not even involved in. Although
stripes, what happened?
Although I think they're moving. So we won that battle. That's good. But where are these guys heading? To Row. 11 regiments of men going to Row, where we only have 5.
Oops.
So here's what we're gonna do. Let me take back our leader here.
We
We have ships, which we can talk about.
Oh, okay. Later. Okay.
I'm going to assign the leader over here, just so hopefully we can get a little more speed. I'm going to then try to move to Row. Now, if we mouse over here, these guys will get to Row on the 5th of July. Mm-hmm. We will get to Row on the 30th of June.
Awesome.
Very good. In fact, I'm sure these guys are going to turn around in a second. Yeah, see, they just stopped moving.
Changed his mind?
Yeah, and then I changed my mind. I left myself in Punjab. The AI is very reactive.
Awesome.
But you can get into these weird, back and forth sort of games of chicken, and you're trying to catch these people. And then it becomes, leaders can increase your mobility, your speed, there's technologies. There we go, we sacked another city. We want a siege, and then...
Ooh, we discovered an agent.
These guys here are trying to fabricate a claim on Iraqi Ajam. Trying to fabricate a claim.
Oh.
So they want a legitimate reason to go to war with us. And so they're fabricating a claim over here. Now, they have no army. They're not even close to being a threat, so I'm not even concerned. Okay, we reward our followers some more. We want another battle. Now, we don't technically have 100% war score, because we're still waiting on Row over here, which is really annoying me. Be interesting to see what we can get out of a peace deal now. So I'm going to click this. We can also negotiate with lower people, like Bangladesh here. They're not interested in fighting anymore. This is their war enthusiasm. They have a low war enthusiasm. We can actually talk to them directly. And, oh, sorry, they're a vassal, so I can't.
Oh, okay.
But these guys, right? I could sue for peace with just these guys individually and see if I might be able to get them out of the war. We wouldn't end the war because they're a lesser partner, but I could try to squeeze them out somehow. But they have high war enthusiasm because they haven't been involved in anything. They're too far away, right?
Right.
Oh, that's where these guys are.
They're big.
Oh, they are kind of big, actually. Okay, that's a bigger threat than I thought. But we're
Not
fine.
that far away.
So, Timurid conquest of Rome. We have a 41% war score, and this is where one of the biggest differences in war between Crusader kings and Europa is. We negotiate the peace treaty, right? There's the white peace right now, which is no one wins or gains anything. Everyone just goes home with their armies.
No.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
There's the offer tribute. We can say, oh, listen, Delhi, you totally kicked our butts. We're going to give you stuff.
No.
No. We want to demand tribute in this
Yes.
particular case. Now, anything with demand has a certain war score cost.
Okay.
And some things are more or less expensive. Now, for example, we occupy Punjab.
Right.
We could ask for Punjab. It has a war score cost of 33%. Our war score is 41%. We're asking for Punjab. They would agree. There's a green check mark. If we say, and also throw in central Doab, they would say no, because that's worth 75 war score.
Right.
And you're only at 41. We turn that down. So you're like, okay, we don't need Punjab. Or, sorry. We don't need central Doab, so we can do that, but, would you give us some money? Or they'll throw in some money. And there's other things, too, like you have to give us half your trade power for the next 5 years. We can say, you have to annul all your treaties with Bengal.
Oh, my goodness.
You have to release a nation. Punjab, we're going to say that you have to make this an independent nation. No longer be part of Delhi.
Goodness.
And the interesting thing about this is that some of these things, like asking for provinces especially, gives us an aggressive expansion penalty to our relations.
Okay.
Our neighbors get nervous.
I wonder why.
It makes perfect sense, right? They will get nervous because we are expanding. And people further away don't care as much. But certain things like forcing them to release Punjab does not generate any aggressive expansion. It lets you break people down without making you look scary. There's little different ways to do that.
Oh my
You can say that,
goodness.
okay, your core, you have a core over here. Well, you have to return that. Well, actually, this isn't technically negotiating with Bengal, but you have to return that to someone else. Someone else has a claim on this province. Well, you have to return it to someone else. And so there's all these different ways to sort of negotiate these different peace treaties.
Oh, my God.
And think about in a multiplayer setting how convoluted this can get.
Good God.
Now, ideally, in a perfect world, what we would like to do is take all of Delhi. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could
Yes.
just, in one fell
I
swoop...
would say, why are we doing peace? Don't we want to just take it over?
Well, we do. Now, the downside is, for full annexation, to claim all of Delhi, it would cost us 145% war score.
Whew.
You can't have more than 100%.
Right.
So it's actually impossible for us to claim all of Delhi in one swoop. And same thing with making them a vassal. If they were smaller, if they were only 3 provinces, we can even vassalize them, which has a lower aggressive expansion cost than actual annexation. But Delhi is simply too big. So we're going to have to take them piecemeal. And really what I'm waiting for is, I'm waiting for Roe to be
Yes.
claimed so we can ask for Roe and Punjab. And that might be enough. Another peace offer. Another infidel. Oops. Okay.
Roe has finally fallen to our forces. Woohoo!
A low-ranking official in our government has distinguished himself and proven to be a very able administrator. He may be deserving of promotion, but there's one problem. He is not a Muslim. All attempts to force his conversion have met with failure, and there are many who demand his immediate dismissal.
I love the picture. Oh man.
He can't be trusted. Dismiss him. We would gain piety, but lose administrative power. Or, we need his skill. We'd lose piety. What's our piety at? 73%. It's quite high.
But we would lose...
We'd lose 25.
Is that 25%?
I think so.
Ow.
Or 20... Or we could gain more piety, almost bring us to 100% piety, which is quite nice, but losing administrative power. And right now, that would represent quite a bit, right? Like 6 months worth of administrative power.
Oh.
I don't know.
You would... boy,
What do you think we should
do? And
do?
you get these decisions and you can't get out of them. You just have to pick one.
Yeah.
Ooh, because stuff happens. Okay, so what does piety do for us?
Right now, it's giving us a bonus to missionary strength, so we can convert people a little
Okay.
faster. Better morale for our
Morale
armies,
for the
and fort them.
armies.
We'd only lose a little bit of that, and frankly, we're not in a shooting war at this time. I think we
Okay.
can probably afford to lose the piety.
Okay. And then can we place him somewhere, or he will just automatically be?
Oh, it's just a sort of an abstract
Okay,
sort of
okay.
thing. Now, we do have a 100% war score against Delhi right now,
Right.
which is great. So we're going to go and do that. Now, the nice thing, like at this point, like they have no option. They can't say no as long as what we ask for doesn't exceed 100% war score.
Oh, okay.
So we can actually sort based on the war score cost and the overextension, which we'll talk about soon. And there's also a diplomatic power cost. Now, this war is 4-row. So it only needs 10% war score, costs us
Okay.
no diplomatic power whatsoever to negotiate.
Awesome.
Anything above that, we have to, there's negotiation. We have to
Yeah.
send the stupid, diplomats over there to work things out. Now, Bangladesh is quite cheap, but it's far away. I think we need to ask for Punjab because it's,
Yes.
it's adjacent.
Yeah.
Brings us to 43. And then we can ask for Syrian. Can we also ask for Bangladesh?
We can.
We could also ask for, oh no, that would be too much.
That's too high.
And we can't ask for Upper because it's their capital. The only way you can take a capital is with full annexation. And then,
Oh,
and we just
okay.
don't have the points for it. Still, that's not so bad. It's not quite as bad because we actually have valid claims on all these places as well because of our CB
Right.
and our mission and all that stuff. So that lowers it somewhat. It'll cost us a total of 100 diplomatic power to negotiate this. We will gain 35 prestige, but we will also suffer 37.5 aggressive expansion. Our neighbors will be unhappy, and it'll cost us 100 diplomatic power. We're not quite at 100%, so let's see. Let's squeeze some cash out of them. That's all the money they have. I like it. And that doesn't affect us. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. You know what? Break off your relationship with Bengal. And
That's one
that'll
less
be pretty
worry.
good. Yeah. So, and
And
for
what's
5
the-
years, they won't be able to recreate a relation.
And what's that last one?
Is additional treaties like transferring trade
okay.
power, which costs quite a bit.
Right,
And this
okay.
number is deceptive. It looks like it's only 98%, but that's because we're already claiming a bunch of their stuff and making them smaller. We
Okay.
can't actually vassalize them at this
Okay.
point. Actually, we could probably vassalize Bangladesh, but we're just going to claim them outright.
Yeah.
So this is a very aggressive move, but it's going to gain us a lot of territory.
Sounds proper for the people we're playing.
All right, we will send them. In fact, a lot of times what they did is declared war and then would peace out quite quick in exchange for subjugation for money, historically speaking.
Yeah.
But that will end the war. So they have accepted our generous peace offer.
Aren't we awesome? Fine.
We are very generous. We're going to hit OK. Now,
Looky, looky.
what's the problem? Our overextension is dangerously high.
Yes.
What does that mean? Well, we have just gained a bunch of territory which is not one of our cores. Mm-hmm. So what is a core? A core province is a province we consider to be a core part of our nation.
Yes.
This is a legitimate, true, and proper part of our nation. We don't just have a weak-ass claim on it. This is part of the Timurid nation.
Okay.
And that's it. Now, these, we don't consider to be that. We've added that, we've annexed it to our territory, but they're not core parts of our nations. We don't have the bureaucracy set up there. We don't have the sort of loyalty set up there. Nothing. There's a very high chance of rebellion in these places.
Yeah.
And they actually cost us quite a bit of money. Like, they're not generating tax money for us, right? Their taxes are zero. They provide barely any manpower compared to other places.
Right.
And the problem is the overextension, because they're not cores, dramatically impedes our ability to boost our stability. No, I'm wrong about that. It was to reduce war exhaustion if we had
Right,
any, which we
okay.
don't. But also kills some of our other income. I think our trade income goes down. A relationship gets hurt, all kinds of things. Overextension is very bad for us.
Yes.
So we need to eliminate that. How do we eliminate that? We create cores. How do we create cores? By spending administrative power.
Oh.
War is expensive.
Again.
You spend manpower, you spend your diplomatic
Wow.
power, you hurt some of your relations, and then you have to spend administrative power to core all these bad boys.
Yep.
And the cost is based on the tax. Luckily, I think we have a discount of 25% for making cores, one of our ideas here,
Yeah.
which is very handy, so we can expand faster than most people can. Also, some of these are really cheap. Punjab is more expensive, but it's because the tax base is 11, which is huge. This is a very rich province, we claimed.
Nice.
In fact, I'm going to make this a priority. It's also got the most overextension. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it does take 35 months.
Whoa.
3 years.
Oh.
Some of these will be shorter. Actually, Bangladesh, which is cheap, would actually take 70 months to do.
Holy camole.
Row is the shortest. Now, we only have enough power to get that started, but as we generate a little bit more, we'll start a few more.
Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're not going to be increasing our stability for some time.
No kidding.
So, let's regroup our armies here. We're going to pull these guys out of what's left of Delhi, which is not much. We're going to regroup them over here where there's likely to be some rebellion. There we go. We'll send them over to Row, and we'll just keep people parked there. Muit wants a royal marriage.
Which is where?
Is it R? No, with the T.
I don't even see it. Oh, is it there? Is that the one?
Oh, there it is. Tiny little guy. I'll pass. We have full legitimacy. We don't really need a relationship with this bad boy. That being said, hey, we converted Yads. So we got our missionary back, which is great, so we can go and try to convert another province. Like Bangladesh, which is Hindu, of all things. God, can't have any of that. I mean,
Gotta fix
the Shiites are bad enough.
I mean, they're part of us now. They've got to toe the line here.
Get with the program.
Get with the program.
Now, there's one interesting thing with royal marriages, is that gives you an alternative way to build up your empire, not have to worry about overextension. Because if you've got really good relations with someone who's small enough, they would be willing to become your vassal.
Ooh.
Which is pretty good by itself. And we got a CB against someone. Delhi has entered a military coalition against us. So our relationship with a lot of these people, see, it's very hurt. Minus 48 to our relationship because of aggressive expansion.
Okay.
It will go away over time. But
they're right there.
These guys.
I mean, we know we're going after Delhi because that's part of our big country mission, right?
Yes.
And they're right there.
True. But we don't actually have to do it militarily.
That's what I'm saying. A marriage, maybe?
Maybe we should do that. All right, we'll do the royal marriage, and then we'll see about sucking up to them.
There you go.
We'll get that started. And let's see, we've got a royal marriage. We can improve relations. We can get the alliance. It might be a little... I don't know if we need an alliance quite yet. Although it does improve relations. But the thing is, once you get to a certain point, and you can, offer vassalization, then once they're a vassal, after a while after that, you can actually just integrate them into your country. You can diplomatically annex them.
Because, I mean, what was the other... the one you clicked on just before this, to offer an alliance. What would happen? An alliance means if they go to war, we have to go help them, but they're an independent country.
Yes.
Now, if we have an alliance, what happens when we decide to take them over? Is that
like as a vassal or militaristically?
Yeah, just go in and...
Militaristically is going to be very rough.
Yes.
Because you have to break the alliance, which will generate, you'll lose some stability and all kinds of things. Yeah. In fact, there's still that sort of situation with the royal marriage. You don't usually royal marriage with people that you're specifically looking to target, but we can work around these guys. It's fine. Or it's Muit over here.
If we have the royal marriage, then we could offer a vassalage later and then slowly work them into the country and end up getting them anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Now, what was I going to say? Oh, we're losing money right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Heck of a lot. And there's a couple of things we can do. One of the easiest things right now is we are at war, technically. But it's not really a war we're concerned with. We can lower our army maintenance. And save some money that way.
Okay. And we've got another little red flag right away.
It's warning us that because we are at war and we have lowered our maintenance, it's warning us, because that's normally a bad thing. Normally what happens is I declare war, someone declares on me, and it's like, your maintenance is low, you want to fix that ASAP. Okay. But I'm willing to do that. That being said, it means our people won't fight as effectively. So if we do get rebellions here, it's going to be a bit of a problem.
Oops.
So...
Oh my god, this is awesome. I love this game.
We can afford to run in the negative for a while. We do have a little bit of extra money. And also, we can take out some loans. You don't want to go nuts with loans, but we can do a little bit. Actually, what I just realized...
I remember you.
Our war exhaustion is very low. What we can do while we're at war, let's raise some war taxes.
Well, there you go.
Now, that will generate more money. It lowers army maintenance. It does generate some war weariness every month. But we can afford to do that for a little while. Assuming this war doesn't go on forever. And frankly, we might get to the point where we want to help. Are we going
to do anything? I mean, we're leading this war, right?
That's
true.
And
we haven't done a thing about it?
No, we actually can't reach them at this point. We have to... It's still only Crimea. Versus the Golden Horde and the Mamluks. Which I actually don't even know if the Mamluks can reach us. What we can talk to is we can talk to Quara here and see if they're willing to give us military access, and they are not. What about Nogai? They would. So let's do that, and then we can send some units.
And they look slightly flatter than coming up through
That
here.
is very true. Okay, let's put that back up again since we're actually going to interact with things. And as soon as they respond, we should be able to walk through them. There we go. So now I can send troops all the way over here.
Wow.
Before I do, I don't suppose they'd be interested in just like a white piece at this point, would they? No. Alright, well, it was worth a try. Revolts are possible, and are they ever? In Bangladesh, especially, where we're converting people. Holy cow, the attrition there is brutal. You know what? I'm going to get my troops out of there. I'm going to put these guys on suppressing rebels. And speaking of, there they are. But they're not very organized, so they got beat up pretty badly. Multan wants military access, sure, and Kashmir as well. Sure, why not? That doesn't cost us anything and makes them like us a little bit more. But really, and you know, we could declare war on someone else right away. We're a horde. We've basically got cause to go to war with anyone at any time. But
shouldn't we clean up house just a bit?
Just a little bit, yes. And my problem tends to be I'm a little over-enthusiastic often.
It's like you've just had a big weekend party, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But you gotta put the beer bottles away before you have it back again.
Yeah.
Because you...
There we go. Whoops.
Whoops.
Brought up the Steam tab for a second.
Oh. Shortages.
So these are the Crimean troops. Now, we're going to see... Oh, I don't have a leader with me. Where is my leader? No leader. We could probably get a much better general now that we've got some actual army tradition. So we're going to assign them there. And we're going to see. It could be that these guys are much better than we are. What is their military tech is only 3. Their steppe nomad. No, they should be on par with us, so we should be able to do okay here. We did get a river crossing penalty. But other than that, we're taking them out just fine. So we won. We got a war score out of it. A little more prestige, which is nice. And we can chase them into Lower Dawn over here. Now, as a steppe nomad, they have huge defensive bonuses in their territory.
Like
monstrous.
We did. Yes.
No, we're not going to be able to catch them. Let's just sit here and siege then. Our country's harsh subjugation of heretics hasn't brought the expected results. Oops. Instead of restoring order and bringing our nation under one religious faith, our actions have further agitated the population, leading to increased violence and acts of cruelty. We can increase funding to suppress the heretics, which will bring more religious regiments, lose 60 ducats.
Ooh.
Increase our national manpower modifier, which is nice, but we can ignore them, and instead of 10 religious regiments, we'd get 19 and lose stability. That's no good. Or we can give some concessions. So for 10 years, we would get reduced missionary strength, although we'd also get discounts to our technology cost.
Really? Oh, it is too.
It does actually give us disorder and increase the national revolt risk a little bit. Frankly, I don't know. I'm tempted to go with concessions this time.
Why?
Well, because 60 ducats is a lot of money, and 19 regiments is a lot, but stability is a brutal loss. And I think, you know, the revolt risk is the worst part of this, and we can probably manage a little bit more sort of simmering.
Simmering piss-offedness?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I might be wrong. Yeah, they want military access. Sure. Be my guest. Suppose we could bring more troops over there. Our manpower situation still sucks. And some patriots revolts simultaneously. And that one's big too. Oh, geez. Let's bring some extra troops in there and hope we can actually help. Luckily, like, they do come with, like, crap morale and not much in the way of skill and things. And also, because this is considered home terrain and we're steppe nomads, we get plus 25% extra damage going on. So we should actually be in good shape to defend against these guys, but it's still pretty rough. We won in a row.
Ooh, we got some double flags going on. That can't be good.
They just want... Everyone wants military access.
Oh my god, that is so cute.
Which is totally fine. There we go. Our reinforcements got there. Thank gosh. We got Persian nationalists way over here.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough time.
We definitely have to do some house cleaning.
You know what? Let's split this stack up and actually just do some re-sieging over here to take back territory, and then at least we'll be on friendly terrain. Merge them, suppress. Merge them, go and suppress. Oh, there's some over here as well, too. And go and suppress jobs. Hey, we converted.
Conversion.
Yay!
Nice.
Well, that's good. That's one less place they can pop up. And let's keep going to the next one. There we go. See about re-siege. Oh, we can't siege there? Are you seriously coming over here? There you go. Now you won't. Actually, I don't have the manpower. I've got to discourage them outright. I was considering baiting them in, but... Oh, fabricating claims. Actually, this is a long episode. We should put a cut in here, and then see if we
Oh my
can't
goodness, no kidding.
make some amount of peace go on here. See you next time, folks.